Good afternoon, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to talk about an unknown feature of birth control. An unknown, as in previously unknown to me, and maybe other people know about it, but it was news to me, and I want to share it in this video. So, birth control, contraception, the pill, condoms, diaphragms, you know, the constellation, the whole universe of ways to keep from getting a girl pregnant that are pretty cheap and effective usually, but there's a lot to be said. It's a big subject, and I'm not necessarily selling anything here or even my own idea, but I do want to share this detail. There's a detail. So consider that recreational sex is only possible with birth control. First of all, we can agree on that, I hope. I'll give you a minute to think about it. Recreational sex did not exist before effective birth control because of the hazard involved, the hazard of pregnancy, the hazard of STDs, etc. Sex is dangerous with or without birth control, but the specific detail that I'm referring to, the one that is largely unknown to people, is the idea that women seem to have, women especially have this idea that you can avoid commitment with birth control, that it's even possible to have truly casual sex by way of birth control. Now, hear me out. It's like saying they have safe tattoo parlors now, whereas before they didn't. They didn't used to be safe. You didn't know what you were getting into. And now you can have a tattoo removed if you want. There's a lot of new options that never used to exist. So a lot of people, it turns out, and in fact this is true, they go and they get a tattoo done for fun, right? They say it's recreational. I'm just going to head down there. I got a little extra money, and I'm going to have some fun with it. And you know, not surprisingly, a lot of times drugs or alcohol are involved in these decisions, just like drugs or alcohol are involved in the decisions involving casual sex too. It's kind of the same idea. You're going to have you're going to make what's called a reckless decision, a casually irreversible reckless decision. Either way, whether it's a tattoo or having sex with or without contraception, there's a commitment involved. And even if the other person tells you that they are not committed, that they're not, you know, emotionally bound to the union, the coupling, if you will, doesn't mean that that's entirely true, especially if this is a woman telling you, because she has instincts, okay? Women have instincts, and if you have sex with a woman, I stand by this comment, she's going to become attached to you. It happens, whether they want to or not, with or without contraception. So to say that contraception makes it casual implies that there's no commitment. Implies that because you have a condom or the birth control pill or whatever, there's no commitment necessary isn't true. There's a huge risk still, not just of STDs or pregnancy, not just of you know, reputation and effects thereof, but becoming pregnant in your heart, getting her pregnant in her heart over her own objection. If she's a normal female, it's going to happen regardless of what she wants. She's programmed, she's hardwired to become attached to people she's having sex with. And if that instinct, if that impulse is completely erased, you have a bigger problem. If, in fact, she is having casual sex, literally, with contraception or without, that means that something has gone pretty wrong up in her head, if you ask me. She's no longer able to form a bond, which should be a concerning thing. So, something to think about. I think that a lot of people are quick to say that there's no commitment necessary as long as we have a, you know, condom or whatever. If we know, as long as she's on the pill, there's no commitment necessary. We're just having fun. It's recreational. It's for entertainment purposes. But recreational sex has another word, doesn't it? Recreational sex is called lust. It's the same thing. Sex for entertainment is called making an irreversible decision casually. It's irreversible. It's just like getting a tattoo. There might be a way to undo it, sort of, but you're taking a risk either way. Something to think about. You know, I personally, and this is the only personal thing I'm going to say on this matter, my own personal belief is that before you have sex with somebody, you should be willing and ready to marry them. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have sex before marriage. I'm not saying that. There's a difference. The difference is, I think that you should be willing and able. You should be available, and you should care enough about that person that if something goes sideways with the contraception, you're not going to look like a douchebag. Okay? Anyway, reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot at gmail.com. Thank you.